This is Exoprimal. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. If you're buying this game or any game on the Xbox Store, the affiliate link in the video description takes you to the Microsoft Store and supports the content on the channel. So, what are we getting here? It's a dynamic 4K resolution at, well, 60 FPS. And it's got a host of different features and options present within this one. So spatial sound, Dolby Atmos, DTS:X support for audio. It's got HDR support. It's got VRR support, which is variable refresh rate. So, you know, it's got like all the goodies in regards to modern settings, options, and everything like that. It's also a game where if you like this one map, you're good to go because this is the only map you ever play. This has to be one of the most boring, repetitive games I've ever come across. I don't understand how you make a game where you play as a character in a mech suit, where you're blasting, grinding, and shooting hordes of dinosaurs boring. But wow, they have managed to somehow do that. It literally blows my mind that that is even a possibility. So, what exactly do we do in this game? You open up and there's like a little tutorial thing, you sit there and you're like, wow, this plays really like Lost Planet, and you keep playing a little bit more and you're like, huh, they should have made Lost Planet instead of this. So anyways, sitting here playing this, it is mundane, it is boring, and I know you're thinking, it's like, but you're in a cool mech suit and there's, you're going pew, and you're shooting lasers and there's explosions and dinosaurs. I'll give you two words. Summoning raptors. Summoning raptors. Over and over and over and over again on the same map. It's the same map, but they like put you in different parts of the map, but you know it's the same map because you go across the same areas over and over and over and over again. It's madness. It absolutely is just madness. Now here's the weird part. Okay. Let me frame this a little bit better. So, like, the game is a PvP game. So it starts out with a bit of story, a bit of single-player stuff. You're like, oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, what's the context here? Yeah. And then the whole game is PvP. I guess there's, like, PV, but it's all the same thing. So you're fighting in these two teams of 5. And, like, one team gets ahead, and the other team loses. Every time. I've won, like, 3 matches of this, and I've played, like, I don't know, 20-something match. I don't win at this game. I try my best. I get like lots of bots, as you can see in the bottom left corner. I get lots of players that don't know what they're doing. I get people that have no strategy, and we can't win. Does that impact my experience with the game? Probably a little bit. But here's the thing, is like, you do the same thing over and over again. So, like, I spent 4 hours straight in a stream, like over 4.5 hours straight in a stream. And I got this one other map. I don't even know how it triggers. I got it like 3 times, I think. I was like, whoa! And it's not even that exciting of a map, but it was so exciting because it was like, finally I got a different level. And then towards the end, after like 4 and a bit hours, I finally got one new level. And I was like, what is this? And it like slightly changed up the modes, slightly changed up the challenges. I was like, oh, this is amazing, it's different. It's fresh, it's got some different dinos. Because otherwise you're sitting here shooting the same 7 dinos over and over again. There's a bazillion dinos. They could have reskinned the dinos. You know, some of these velociraptors could have been, like, I don't know, like red. Some could have feathers. They could have done anything, but nope. It's the same repetitive, boring group of raptors summoning raptors over and over and over again until you lose your mind. I'm not even kidding. It's like, you know what really kills me in video games? That level of repetition. It's insane. So the game is designed to give you story. So like every several matches, you'll get a cinematic. Sometimes it's like 30 seconds, sometimes it's a minute and a half. Because like kind of the story of this might be intriguing, but it's like, it's a multiplayer game where they're trying to trick you into thinking it's interesting because there's like story hidden behind the multiplayer stuff. And I was told it's something like 55 matches or like 15.5 hours or so of game time you have to play to actually like see the whole story. So you have to sit here on this same map. Well, maybe you'll get 1 or 2 maps. So you'll spend 14 hours playing on this same map. Over and over again. What are you doing, Capcom? What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me? It's madness. It's madness. Because it's like, I know there's other maps in this game. You've just hidden them. You know how much better this game would be if it was like rotating some different maps? Seriously, it might not be so mind-numbing. But most people won't even get to see those other maps because they'll get so bored of the game that they'll just uninstall it and like forget about it. Because it's like, it's a live service game, so it requires players, and it's like, it kind of looks like it would function without people, but like, we're like a couple days in, and it's already, like, I'm in a lobby where we've got 2 bots on our team. There's only 5 players on our squad, and 2 of them are bots. That's like, it's the middle of, like, you know, it's prime time right now. I'm playing prime time, and I'm just, it's just not gonna last, because you can't do, it's like, it's one game mode, that's it. And like occasionally they switch up the objectives a little, but not enough. It's like you're doing the same thing. Fight, clear enemies, and then you do like a cube thing that you move. Or you eliminate the target. That's literally, that's all. But like there's one mode I got to at the end of that 4.5 hours where it's like you attack like a cube thing, and there's like some boss type stuff that like occasionally shows up. But it's like if there was only just a shred of difference within the environment, this game might actually be engaging and fun, but they just beat you to death with the same limited content over and over and over. Oh no, now we're going to the cube, aren't we? Never mind, it's always the cube. But you just like, it becomes so boring that it's like, and I really try to stick with some games. But this one I sat there and I looked at the time requirement and I'm like, I'm not doing this. Nope, forget about it. It's like, I don't have the life to waste on things that are just this mundanely boring. And it's like, no, this is not Overwatch meets dinosaurs. No, it is not. Not even close. Like, there's actual substance and depth to Overwatch. This is just you sitting back, holding RT as you shoot stuff, and occasionally unleashing some slightly more powerful abilities. Like, that's all this is. There is zero depth behind this. But if they only had like a few maps, just a few, where it was kind of like slightly changing or even like slightly different objectives to kind of keep this fresh, this game could be pretty cool. Like, it could be an okay game. Instead, it's just, it's so, like, this is the most like well polished, cool in concept, but like insanely boring game I've ever seen. It's like Anthem if they took away all of the content and story of Anthem, which is not a recipe for success in a video game. And it's like Anthem was already like so bare bones, and this one is just, there is nothing to it. But as I said, like, the concept for the story is like this weird interdimensional thing where you're kind of like fighting, like there's a bunch of dimensional things of like offbeat things of your group. Sorry, I'm trying to like, it's super convoluted. Like, there's other teams like your team, but your team is also like mirrored in these other teams to a degree with different like things going on, and then like stuff's happening there, and you're all pulled into this game by this AI trying to create like a perfect suit thing. And there's lots of different suits, lots of suit customization and suit variants, but I mean, typically you don't want to play the different suits because, you know, you pick one and you like it and you kind of go with it. But there's like healer suits, and you know, have charms and that you can earn in game, so that's kind of nice. And there's a survival pass, so like the suit stuff, it's like, in concepts it's good. But I'm sitting here being like, just make a new Lost Planet. You would actually, okay, I want to just stop from my spiel bit for a sec here. So the biggest missed opportunity, I think, was not having more of this. So this is my favorite part of the game, is the 20 seconds you might get where you get to play as a dinosaur and harass the other team. So that was another player that was attacking there as that Carnoverosaurus or whatever it is. And like, that is the best part of the game, is going and bothering the other team as a dinosaur for like 20 seconds. That's the best part. I always go, yes, so you could be like a Triceratops too. But like, yeah, that is as good as the game gets. It does not get any better than that. And it's just like, I really don't quite get this one. Like, the potential for something interesting was, like, really, really close, but yet it just wasn't there. Like, if they would have made this, have a like, let's just, you know, think theoretically here. If they had a 4-player co-op campaign, or even a single-player campaign, where you're kind of playing this, not this mode, not on this map, but like a campaign that's even like a few hours long, that's kind of like a story thing about the dinos and stuff, that would have been pretty cool. And then you could have this mode as the multiplayer component to that game, and you're sitting there being like, not a bad game, pretty solid, pretty decent. But like right now I sit here and I'm like, this is just, it's not gonna make it. Like, I could be as optimistic as I want, and I hate to do this for live service games, because I usually sit here and I'd be like, well, you know, it might have this potential, it might hit with somebody. But like, I'm looking at this, and it's like, it's just not, what was that? That was weird. It's just, yeah, it's not gonna make it. Like, it's, you need players to play this game, or otherwise functionally it just doesn't work, and it's just not gonna build players. I don't see it. And, like, you know, as much as I'd love to sit here and be like, well, you know, it finds its roots, it finds a community, you know, gets some updates, blah, blah, blah. But, like I said, we're, like, a couple days in. It's the weekend. This is when people are, like, most off. The game just came out, like, a couple days ago, and I have bots in my match. Like, 2 bots. Like, it's just... It's not. And then it's like, and if you're just playing against bots, it's just... You're gonna have to grind boring matches against bots, and no one wants to do that. I barely want to grind this game against real players, so like to just have to do it against bots is just like, that is the worst experience that I could think of, is having to do this game and just play against bots over and over again. It would be terrible. But that's what I'm trying to get across, is just kind of like, the gameplay looks cool, it looks flashy, the mechs are neat, you know, like there was sort of that potential, but man, does this game just underwhelm and disappoint in so many ways. Oh, and another loss. I mean, who could have told you that before this match even started? At least you get to see yourself eaten by the dinos, so that's kind of a pleasure. So we'll talk about this more basically immediately for you, but we're gonna hop into the next battle. It's a rare surprise, but yes, I was able to find a different map for you guys to see. Wow! What a treat this game is. Oh, and there's crossplay too. I guess I should have mentioned that earlier. What a treat. A slightly different level. Wow. You guys, you lucked out in my review for this one, because I literally thought we were just going to play on the same map over and over and over again. And you can hear it in my voice, because this game is insanity, because it's literally that definition. I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over again. Ugh, jeez. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, but I'll just go into it, and I'll just be like, the concepts of this game are interesting. The grind to experience anything different is horrible. And the game doesn't tell you it gets better. It expects you, for whatever reason, to have no fun for hours and hours and hours. And then it just gives you an inkling of a taste of something different. And to me, that's not enough of a hook to keep me going, because it's just boring. Like, it's gotta be like somewhat fun. But like, this looks so cool, right? Like, I'm sitting here doing this and I'm like, this is pretty neat. I'm like grenade launching a group of raptors. But that's all this game is you walk from one place to the next, they drop a bunch of raptors down, maybe 1 or 2 miscellaneous other dinosaurs. Then you fight moving a cube, and then the game ends. And then if you're lucky, you got to a point where the story progresses, and you get like a 30-second cinematic that doesn't tell you anything. That's this thing, is this game, it doesn't show you anything, and it doesn't tell you anything. So you're sitting here just kind of being like, what is this mundane exercise in absolute weird insanity? What does it mean? What does it have to offer? I don't really understand. But it is such a treat to have a different level. Because it's like, it's one of the nicer looking kind of current gen games where I'm like, oh, this looks pretty cool. You know, these suits, they're really neat, cybernetic. The dinos look pretty good. It just seems like a waste of gameplay, where most people are not even gonna get past the first level because they play on it. Like, the requirement of time that you would have, most people are sitting there being like, I've got way better things to do in my life than just sit on this one map. If they had a rotation where it's like that first map, this map, maybe a couple other maps over and over again, and then you add story, that'd be pretty cool. You know, you'd be sitting here being like, oh wow, well, there's some neat content. It's like, oh, okay, now they're using that map for some story stuff. Interesting, I like that. And like, yeah, that's the biggest problem is like, this is just like a cool concept, like the world and the dinosaurs and that, but like the PvP just really isn't that engaging. It's repetitive beyond belief. You just literally visit that one map. So like the majority of people that don't want to sit there, and because as I said, I really had to push to like get myself through that first kind of like phase of this game. It's you're just gonna uninstall it. You're not gonna bother with it, and I'm telling you that that is the requirement for you to be able to see anything new. Like, some people might just be looking at this being like, does this game ever change? You're sitting there playing hours and hours. Like, who knows how many hours, you know, most people have. Like, are you going to sit there a week just doing little bits of grinding the same map over and over again just for, like, the chance of tasting something new? Or are you going to play something that's got, like, more fun and variety to it? I think you'll go for something with more fun and variety to it. And it sucks, because, like, it feels like such a waste of, like, potential on this. And we're going to lose this match as well. Because we're behind. But it's just like, I have had like almost no fun playing this. As I said, that brief moment where you're lucky to be that one person on your team that picks up that little thing that allows you to become a dinosaur and attack the other team for like 20 seconds, that's as cool as it gets. That's really it. Like, story-wise, it shows like a quirky team, you customize your character, which doesn't really make sense because you spend 90% of your time in a suit, but, you know, it's just like, what were they going with for this one? It's so weird. Like, dinosaurs, mechs. We don't get enough of games like this. But we should really never have games like this as well. It's like a weird double-edged sword. And people can take the wrong thing. Like, other developers would be like, oh, people don't like dinosaurs and mechs. No, we love mechs. We love dinosaurs. We just don't like them in this way. It's like always the wrong lessons getting taken out of this. And I'm just like, I'm genuinely surprised. No one sat there for 2 seconds being like, hey, do you guys think people are gonna like get really bored of this like super fast, that our game's just not gonna be like playable like right away? And it's like maybe the thought just like never really hit anyone's mind, but man, this game kind of just really sucks. It does. It's just, it's not good. I give it like a boring tag. It's movement-wise, it's cool. Concept-wise, there's something there, but like, it's just not fun to play. It's just repetitive. There's not enough of a hook to keep you interested in it. And sure, give it a whirl, you know, see if you like it, blah blah blah, whatever. But I do guarantee there'll be a certain point where you're just like, nothing new is happening, I'm tired of playing on the same map. The game type is the same every single time, and it's not interesting enough to keep me hooked or like really into it, and I'll just go play something else. And it's like, I don't know, maybe they'll have lots of exciting new content and change things up, but for me, this really should have been maybe like story type cooperative stuff first, then a mode like this on top of it, or they should have went in a different direction for this game, because I don't think that this is like the optimally fun way to play this. We get to play as a dinosaur! Yes! This is what I'm saying, this is like the best part of it. You get to go be the dino and go like bother the other team. It's great! This is like an action-packed thrill ride. Fun for the whole family. A ferocious good time. But it's only for like 20 seconds. They froze me?! Come on! I just want to sit here and mulch on these guys. See, even the hit detection as a dino isn't very good for like mauling people, but this is fun to do. This is like really the interesting part of this game. I've seen some people strategically save this too, so they can like attack like at the right moment. So I think this game is a lot of like sort of wasted potential. Like I do, you know, I genuinely think that there was something here. But at the end of the day, I just want like a new Lost Planet game is what this really makes me feel like. Like you could take these mechanics and movement and stuff and throw them in like a rebooted Lost Planet. That'd be pretty sick. So ultimately really disappointed, and like kind of like this is so mundanely boring beyond like my highest belief of what I could find boring in a video game. It's like my worst nightmare of video game concepts coming together, and it's just kind of like Not fun to play, but it looks cool, right? Like, if you're just passing by for 2 seconds, it'd be like, oh, it's kind of neat looking. But then, like, you sit there and you play it, and you're just like, wow, there's nothing to this. And that's how it feels, because they literally hide content.